And welcome back to another episode. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we have a few things we need to do with today's production. I've gone ahead and I've upgraded all of the traits that we had, so we're going to simplify a few things. We have plenty of infantry equipment in the stockpiles. This is a little bit misleading because it says for reinforcement, but we actually have 80k in the stockpile. We do need a lot of trucks. So 200 a day is a lot, but we need to reinforce that quickly. So I'm going to leave this as it is for now. As for artillery, we have plenty. Yeah, I mean, we're short on medium tanks, mechanized, and trucks. So that's where we need to focus our industry. So we'll reallocate some of this. We do need to make the advanced medium tanks. We don't have enough XP. I think we're going to need about 95 to make the Tiger 2s. I do want to go ahead and upgrade this trait for the medium bombers. And we have a few broken factories, so some of this is not filling in correctly. We'll take 10 off of that and see how we're doing. Going to need a lot of naval bombers as well. In fact, I'm going to move that up to prioritize this so that I can keep an eye on it. We don't have enough political power to establish any more Reichskommissariats, but we are going to do that as soon as we can. We have the UK Cipher. That's giving us some passive bonuses, so that's good. We're going to go ahead and also get the root out resistance, because I did assign my spy masters around to our high resistance regions, and we do have some issues, as you can see. Especially in the territory that we've been holding for a long time, so getting that resistance down is going to be important. If we can also assign one of these up here, maybe in Scotland. There's a naval invasion Italy was doing here in Ireland. I think we pointed that out last episode. So that's sort of interesting, but we do need to also repel this naval invasion. We are doing that. One idea that I do like, and let's see, we also need to go down here, make sure that we're taking that. One idea I do like is the idea of potentially making a garrison that has high hardness, probably using light tanks. We may do that. If making the Reichskommissariats doesn't help enough, we can always try that. Just want to make sure we get this. Where else are we? Western France. So one thing we need to do as well, actually, in our production is check on our fleets. So I want to start making the fleet submarines. Yeah, I mean, we could... I'm honestly just going to cancel this, and we're going to do instead just these Type X, Type 2 submarines. And we're just going to try out to get out as many as we can, is kind of my new strategy. Aside from that, I'd like to see if we can't make some heavy cruisers. Let's see, that's the wrong designer. I want to get out more of these because we're gonna need some kind of a fleet, and we did get some from the Russians, which is gonna help us a lot. But yeah. So we have 33 here. Let's ensure that we bring all of these back here to port and kind of assess what we have so I can kind of divide out the fleet. We also, I don't know, so it says we've got red air here, but it's not even being contested, which is sort of interesting. Let's move these guys over here. We just need to divide these up so that they're not all in the same airbase. Close air support. Let's get the naval bomber wings. We can just put them over here. That was one thing we need to check. Do we have convoys coming through here? Yeah, we do. I want to hopefully not get shot out of the air as well, if at all possible. I want to see if we can contest the British in the skies at all. And just kind of try our hands at that. So these are both close air support. So these can do naval bombing. Well, some of them can. So if we take the ones out that can't and just put them over here. That's a bit confusing. Okay, the tactical bombers here cannot. Okay. We'll just bring these over and do strategic bombing in the UK. We're not going to worry about the Alpine region. Well, I take it back. We can put some there. That's fine. We got more naval bombers here. Now, when we do deploy our fleet, we want to make sure we're doing it under the cover of naval bombers. We don't have as strong of a fleet as they do. It's important that we effectively defend our fleet to make the most of our numbers. Okay, we're just waiting for the rest of these fleets to get here. Unless they're like stuck in the Black Sea or something. The other thing we want to check on is over here. Try to cut off some of these units if we can. I'm not going to pay too much attention to this front. I just want to make sure that we're not losing too much ground. We did get this unit dealt with. Let's get these units moved back over to Rome. And let's see. Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about doing a division that's high in hardness, but we just have a lot of things we need to do first. We would have to design a light tank. What I would probably do is do like an improved light tank, set it to like something like this, and just do something really cheap. Yeah, just something really cheap. Yeah, maybe something like wheeled suspension. And what matters is the hardness. So, actually, we would not want to do wheeled suspension. Even though it's cheaper, we would want to do just like the bogie suspension. Does anything else increase hardness? This is cheapest. But specifically hardness. Piercing, armor. Defense and coordination. I mean, I don't think this matters. Yeah, you would just, I think you would just want something like this. Yeah. Something like this, call it the, like, Garrison Panzer. That's real cheap, actually. That increases production cost. Well, this lowers it. That's really cheap. You know, let's go and do that. I'm just checking this. I mean, breakthrough. Yeah, no, that's fine. I hope that's not going to try and replace our... Okay, good, good, good. Let's go ahead and put this into production. And so what we would do, I think, is we would duplicate this. And we just call it like the Panzer Brigade Reserves. We would swap these out for light tanks. And then we would do specifically these tanks. Right. Yeah, let's go ahead and make that. And just let those tanks go into production. So this is a little bit of something I've never tried before, but I'm willing to see how it works. Manpower is just so precious that I think it's worth trying that out. So we completed the urbanization. I think there's some good special forces bonuses here that we could get, including the wonder weapons bonuses, but I think we should just get Defense of the Reich. That's going to give us production cost decrease for fighters, anti-air construction speed. I mean, really, it's just for the bonuses to the fighter production cost. We can probably put more fighters out into the field. I'm just seeing, let's see, can we do something like this? I don't know how we don't have air supremacy. With the current, we can effectively cover 71% of the region. I guess the anti-air guns. They have a lot of anti-air guns, yeah. Okay, there we go. It just hadn't updated yet. I was like, how's this mathing? There we go. Makes a lot more sense. We have some ungrouped air wings. These are all close air support. So we'll want to put it into here. And these are some naval bombers, so we'll put them in there. We want to add on some more naval bomber wings. In fact, I'm going to deploy as many as we can, because these are going to be really important for the war. And we're going to move these over to here. Well, we can't, but we're just gonna put them overhead and train them, because we want to get them leveled up. But the goal is to sink as many allied fleets as possible. Let's go ahead and let's see, where are these ships? Holzendorf. Yeah, these are my ships. Where are they? Oh, okay. So apparently these ships decided to deploy into the Mediterranean, so that's why I can't use them. Okay, that's the other thing. We may look towards getting Spain in, either through an alliance or annexing them directly, because I really need to get access to Gibraltar. And maybe even work towards contesting Africa. I'm not, like, really that concerned about it, but that's one annoying thing. So let's go ahead and take all the Type 1 submarines out of here. And we'll split these up by type. So those will be all the Type 1s. These are Type 2s. Let's make sure we deploy the new submarines into the Type 2s. Okay, let's make one of each of these, because we gotta upgrade their traits. Let's just get some production on this. So as we make that, we are making some new facilities, because I want to not only get marine tech but also large ship tech, so that I can make motherships. I'll show you that in a minute. So let's get all of these Type 1 subs off. Let's continue doing this. And it's just going to take a little while to get all of this done. But it's important. Oftentimes when you dedicate a lot of time and focus to a war, it can be difficult to stay on top of everything. And that tends to happen a lot in this game. And then you get behind on tech and all kinds of things. So this is down here. So I guess we'll just have this escort fleet type thing down here. We'll just do like this, because this isn't really going to be super useful. We'll just leave that down there. These are all the Soviet Soviet high seas fleet. We'll throw that into there, and we need to repair everything. So we're gonna keep it docked for a little bit to repair, including the submarines. Well, yeah, I mean, they do need to repair. It's kind of too late to train them. I would have to bring them over here to train them. And I just don't really know if that's worth it, so we'll just let them repair for a little bit. Okay, so we got out some of these. Let's bring half of them over there. So we'll just train up all of those. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the marine tech. It's actually unbelievable that we didn't already have some kind of marine tech. That's sort of a mistake on my part. Let's see, we actually have to stop them training. Unless they're not deployed yet. There we go. Yeah, sometimes you have to give them a day before you can move your planes. Okay, so now they're contesting this more. So what we can do is we really want to deploy. Actually, give more air supremacy. Let's do some more fighters. And the theory is, we actually use this button here. The theory is that our fighters are better, and that over time we should be able to win if we can test them long enough. So we'll see how that works here, though. These have not deployed yet. So shot down en route to target, mission efficiency. Okay, because we don't have air supremacy here. And this is more so just a test. Yeah, I mean, we may just ground this fleet. Well, what we can do is actually we can just focus on the English Channel. Actually, got an achievement from that. Well, we can just focus on the English Channel for now, and assisting our ships and convoys. And as you can see, that's working pretty well as we sink many of their submarines. So just gotta keep an eye on that. But I did want to see if we could test them in their own airspace. But they have a lot of advantages going for them, since they do have, you know, anti-air on the ground. So not super surprised. So yeah, we are deploying more into the air. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get the basic large airframe. We want to get the improved large airframe is one of our next goals, because that's going to help us a lot when we get the motherships, which I think is one of the prerequisites for actually having the America bomber focus completed. Okay, so we need some rubber. We're not really going to be able to trade for any, understandably. So we're going to have to, also we may want to upgrade our radar over here. I guess we don't have the higher levels of that because we haven't actually invested in that technology. But we can get some more refineries in some of these different regions. So we'll work some of that in alongside everything else we're building. Okay, so we're continuing to contest this, sinking lots of ships. So we'll continuously check on that. Need to see how repairs are going. So we got the nuclear reactors completed. I believe. Okay, so we would want civilian nuclear reactor start building nuclear bombs. So we're going to want this first. What can we trade? We could trade with China for some of this. No, we're not actually going to get it. Unfortunate. Okay, so we can deal with some of this. So, fate of the Volga German colony. That's right. We did accept that deal. So we may want to give that to him. Karelia. I mean, I don't know what's probably got the most. Well, we could sign over Karelia, and then we could return the territory to Finland that they lost. And then we would have a nice clean border region over there. So we wait for 5 more political power, we can go ahead and do that. Yeah, we're sinking a lot of their submarines. Our naval bombers are doing a lot of work. Yeah, that's really good. They're not contesting this region at all. Now what we can do, once we get our submarines repaired, is we can also bring them into these regions. Actually, you know what, let's go ahead and deploy them. I'd rather repair the heavy ships. So let's split these. So let's do something like this, maybe. Let's get all the ones that aren't fully trained. Pull those off. And then bring these into a separate fleet. Actually, we'll bring them out here, and we're going to bring them over into here, to the lower Baltic, and we'll train them. Yeah, we're not going to bother training the sub ones. And let's give these a different icon. So we'll do that for those. And then we can do a convoy raid mission in these regions. We'll stop repairing. So we'll start convoy raiding in these regions. And we can actually pull off of this region because it doesn't matter. So we can just focus on these two regions. And we don't want to repair. We'll just set these not to repair. And we'll engage at high risk. So we're probably going to get those submarines blown up, but that's part of the strategy. So we'll do the fate of Karelia now. And that, I guess, okay, so that's interesting. So I guess it's a good thing we did not give that territory back to Finland, because if you continue to hold it, you actually just get to incorporate it into the greater region, because it was not highlighted. If you look here, it's not highlighted, but if you hold the territory, you get to give it over to Moscow, so that's a good thing, I suppose. Alright, so we're continuing to engage over there. Let's see. These are training. For the training airplanes, let's do during the day normal operations. As far as I understand, that helps a little bit with some of the losses that you can get in the air. So let's see how we stack up in the air with them right now. They have 10 to 13k. Now remember, we don't have everything deployed, but we have 9.7k. We could deploy more. I'm not wanting to necessarily at this moment. So our resistance is still pretty high. That did give us some manpower back. But yeah, we're still having some issues. So we're getting a naval invasion here. It's just one Australian division. So that's fine. I would lay mines here in the English Channel, but I'm just going to lose all my mine laying ships. I guess it's just fine that we have them where they are now. So I think we've already lost 3 ships so far. What we could do is engage at low risk and see if that makes it any better. That way we're kind of skirting by and maybe retreating more. They lost 4 destroyers there. I know some people don't like the Navy game, but I definitely enjoy it. And it's actually important in this instance because we're not really going to get to the UK otherwise. I mean, we could briefly get air supremacy and land some paratroopers, but paratroopers alone can't really do anything. Let's get the anti-partisan 2 as we continue to play here. I'm a little reluctant to go up to speed 5 if it's not necessary. And wow, wait. So what was that? So they lost an early destroyer hull, 10 Sea Gladiators. Okay, so those are planes, not ships. We lost 9 of these planes. But we sank 11 convoys. Just normal convoys. But convoys not the same. So we're doing a lot of damage to their fleets. They had, when I first checked this at the beginning of the episode, they had over 300 ships. So that should tell you the kind of losses they're having. Even if it's a few old destroyers, a few submarines, like it adds up. And it makes an impact in the long run. So that's a good thing. Okay, so we get the advanced small airframe, and I think we are going to do that. Staying ahead of time on the tech is going to be really nice for us. Let's go ahead and do the fate of the South Urals region. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I think... So what's the advantage of this? Reichskommissar Civil War. Compliance. Right, so we could incorporate it into one of these guys. Or into the Greater Moscow Reichskommissariat. This would lower the overall autonomy gain. I think it makes sense for it to be its own Reichskommissariat. I'd rather not have a giant Moscow puppet. I want to split it up a little bit more. I just think it actually looks a little bit nicer on the map. A little bit more interesting. A little bit more interesting to have it split up a bit. We can ground these transport planes as well. So we're continuing to work on that. We got a new facility. This is for our air facility. We can go ahead and do... Ooh, maybe the bright guy. Well, probably the aircraft specialist, because that's probably what we're going to be working on primarily. And we do have some breakthrough points. We just don't have any open slots at the moment. Yeah. Okay, so we got the military police 2. Could get some of the helicopter stuff. Get the next artillery. Advanced mediums. Heavy bombs. Get the new engines. Let's do that. I think staying on top of our air game is going to be really important. We got our first Tanatuvan division. So we're not in the war against the Chinese, which, you know, I think is probably a good thing. Man, the amount of divisions that we have stacked over here. Just our allies mainly. We need to, like, connect this up or something. This is such a... It's really such a waste of resources to do that. I mean, we can do something like this at least. But we don't have our capitals connected. But we'll work on at least this. Get it hooked up to Tehran and then go from there. Okay. So we've got unfulfilled imports somewhere. And that is oil from Turkey. We don't need as much oil as we are trading for. We trade for some there. We'll trade for what Romania has and support them instead. Okay, so that's a little bit better. How many specifically of these do we have? Because let's see, if I've trained, where is it? We don't even have enough for a full division. What we could do is we could swap over our garrisons for one specific region first. Like, how many are we using to garrison Poland? We're using 96k to garrison Poland. But I think part of that is because, don't we get some negatives? I think you have to actually be up above 60% to get the kind of negatives that we're thinking of. I mean, yeah, we have a lot of garrisons in a lot of different places, but we really need it in a region like this. It's just not worth doing yet. Alright, we can go ahead and speed up the game a little bit here. Where are we getting raids? So we're getting raids here. What we can do is take off some of these fighters. And we can intercept. That is in this region. So we can intercept that region. Let's do more ground crews. I always think that's kind of funny that you can put more ground crews over a naval region, but you know. So we're gonna train these over here. And I actually haven't lost too many ships. In fact, we almost have naval supremacy here. Now I would assume this is probably because Italy has put some troops here, some fleets rather. I thought Italy's fleet got blown up. No, they're actually holding strong. But their fleets aren't here. Are these Japanese fleets? Or does it just count as more? I don't know, but it's definitely helping us to have our planes over the sea regions. It's super important to have green skies in any playthrough, especially Germany, especially if you're going to invade the UK. It's really important. So let's just check how we're doing on our divisions. We could train them. Have we filled in our deficit of trucks? Yes, we have. So now we can move some of this off of trucks and onto other technology. We're still making the medium tanks. Mechanized could be good to improve, actually, our production. So we could do a bit more mechanized, because I'd like to actually swap out our mechanized onto our divisions if we can soon. Could make more of these, since there are garrison specific divisions, and they're really cheap to make. So if we invest the technology now, then we'll have a lot in the long run, and that's going to free up many divisions. So the fate of the Volga German colony, hand that North Urals administration to Moscow. Okay, so you can hand that over to them. We can get some more of these. Let's up this to 5 in the repair queue. And let's get some more of these heavy cruisers being made as well. Actually, we'll do that instead. So we can place into there. We might want to build a few more dockyards, though we can get a few from our focus tree. So it's just not a priority just yet. But I think we might be able to contest them in the seas, now that I'm looking at it. I mean, we've really done a number on them already. So we haven't sank any more ships just yet, but they have no submarines left. Yeah, they have no submarines left. They have a lot of destroyers. But I fear even with green skies, it's really risky. It's really risky to put any amount of committed fleet size into this region. So we do have a lot of helicopters. And I'm thinking one of the things we could do is swap out some of these for different bonuses. We could also put that on our tank divisions. So we could do like helicopter transports. So to use more fuel, but to increase our overall divisions quite well. How many do we actually use? So it's 10 helicopters. That's not bad. That's actually really not bad at all. Yeah, that's pretty good. What does this give us? This would lower our soft attack if we got rid of that. But the logistics is pretty good. It's the motorized recon. So we have helicopter medevac. We'll probably put that on our main divisions. So this lowers supply usage, increases reliability. Okay. Overall production cost. But I mean, I think this is pretty good. So let's swap out on those helicopter brigades, and let's do the same for our normal panzer divisions here. Just for the transports. We could actually do it for the signal companies too, no? Or we could do armored signal companies. Okay. I can't actually see the stats. So that does improve some things, but it just makes supply worse. Slightly lower breakthrough, but not by much. It just increases armored support, which we have plenty of, so let's go and swap that out too on both of these divisions. We already had armored support actually on here. Okay, so it was just the light tanks, but we'll make that swap anyway. Okay, we should be good. We're going to need a lot more helicopters though. Let's go and put this at the top of the queue. We can take a few more off the trucks. And put it here with our sort of primary support vehicles. And let's keep the game running here. So I'm almost willing to put our strike fleets into the English Channel. I think we would have a real good chance of damaging their fleets, but I'm just concerned because if we lose a bulk of our fleet, we're going to be in trouble. Motorized military police. Let's get the military police 3. As we continue to kind of improve our garrisons. Let's go ahead and do the fate of the Volga German colony. Wait, we could core it? That's interesting. What would we get out of this? I mean, that would be a lot of manpower. Some materials. It's kind of an odd solution. We would have a deficit of political power. But you know, I mean, I kind of like that idea. I mean, we could kind of... Yeah, we could kind of govern it as a direct state in the region. I think that would make sense as a sort of way to administer over our Reichskommissariats in the east. Yeah, why not? As a core state. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that was an option. So this is another nuclear facility. Let's put in this guy. He's a nuclear specialist. Got some more divisions we can assign down here to this army. I don't know. I mean, they're just kind of holding that there, which is fine. Let's move these paratroopers back over as well to this region. So we're continuing to engage them. We sunk a lot of French ships, actually. Convoys. So did we finish our marine tech? We did not. And we got our last land warfare facility we can assign there. So hopefully building all these facilities will kind of help us to get our tech a little bit faster. Specifically our special project tech. That is the goal. Let's get some more of these subs out since they're helping us sink their ships by engaging them. Okay, so I'm just debating, you know, let's go ahead and do it. Let's just do it at a low risk. We'll engage at a low risk. And we'll also do mine lanes set to not engage in both of these regions. So is it just this main ship still repairing? Okay, well, it's still repairing, so let's actually just hold off on that. I thought it had finished. We actually had naval supremacy there for a second, so I do think if we put our strike fleet out there, we would have naval supremacy. Which is really nice, because once we get our marines established, there's a very good chance we'll be able to land. Okay, so they do have a naval invasion coming here, but we have our divisions stationed here, so it shouldn't be any issue. And that's actually, after this completes, I'm actually curious if we'll be able to, yeah, they're not able to do anything. So we got Defense of the Right completed. That's going to give us a nice bonus. Air superiority, interception. I was wondering if there was anything for naval missions. Cavity magnetron. That must be some kind of tech for the radar. Strategic bombing. Is there anything for naval bombing? Oh, here we go. Yeah, if we get these two, that'll be really nice. I completely forgot about that. That's going to help a lot. And just make what we're doing even more effective. So far no more naval invasions into Rome. This was the Benelux region, I believe. So let's see. I forget how you check this. So I think equipment details. So it's our total number of planes. I think we would have to check this. So combat log. So we've lost this in the last 12 months. Last month we've lost barely anything. So our equipment that has been lost was a lot of infantry equipment. I forget how we would check. I guess we would have to check the naval overview, lost ships. So we've lost 663. They've lost 527. So this is including convoys. So we've sacrificed a lot of convoys in here. Yeah, this is the bulk of it. And I'm sure the same is for them as well. But if we do come in here, we've sunk a lot of their convoys and other things. So we check for the allies. Yeah, we've sunk 65 of their submarines, the allies overall. So that's pretty good. So that's the main dent we've made in their fleets. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these destroyers out there again. Now that they have the upgraded tech. And make sure that they're going into the correct fleets. Okay, so these should be done training, which they are. So what we can do is go ahead and move them over air. We could put some here. And these guys can come partially over here. And we might actually have to build up our air bases. I thought it wouldn't be an issue, but let's just see what we got. So we could do this as well. So that's a lot more naval bombers, fully trained. So we're getting 88% of our air superiority is going towards our naval supremacy. Intel is also assisting. So we should probably actually go ahead and do this. Let's infiltrate the civilian administration. That's going to help us get some more intel on the British. And intel is actually really powerful if you use it. If you use it, at times it can be. That reminds me, do we have all of these? Yeah, we do. Okay. Let's get machine-assisted decryption. And see what we get as our special project. So we can get the jet engines, but I'm going to wait to get either the mothership aircraft or the America bomber. Probably both, preferably both, would be ideal. Let's get some of these air bases built up over here. Just where we have really cheap to build. Let's do a few more dockyards. Anywhere that looks good. And then we'll just do some more factories and refineries where we can, as we continue to build up and prepare. Let's go up to speed 5 so we can get a few more focuses done and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and close out of this, or otherwise I'll keep checking it. We'll just let this run for a while and see how we do. So let's see. They've now put a ton of their Air Force over the English Channel. So we're shooting down more of their units than they are of ours, even still, but it's still not great. So we have 4 active enemy support planes. We could take a portion of these and do interception, and we can always deploy more fighters. So we can deploy all of these. We won't deploy any of the old ones, but we'll do that. We'll throw them into our fighter group. And we may temporarily ground the Air Force, but no, I mean, we're shooting down way more of theirs. So this is, overall, this is going to be good for us, even if we do lose some fighters, because over time, they're going to lose much more than we do. So with that in mind, I think it's worth it. And I think they're also having to deploy a lot of old fighters that just aren't good. So let's get the torpedo bomber and throw any of these extra divisions we get into there. We're still working on that deficit of political power that we gained from turning that one state into a core. But that did help with our manpower a little bit, actually. Not a lot, but a little bit. So this actually... this is actually worth mentioning at this point. Let's see if we have aces that we can assign. So these are all unassigned, so we should go ahead and assign any aces that we have onto our fighter divisions, as it's going to give us some bonuses. And at this point in the game, it does matter a little bit. And we just have so many from just sort of getting them over time that at this point it does help. So we're just going to go through here and assign what we can, and I think that might be it for the fighters. But that should help a little bit. On one fighter wing, it doesn't matter that much, but if you add them to several, it does end up helping. So they've actually pulled out of the region. So let's check the details here. So we've disrupted a lot of their bombers. So they've lost, let me check a year here. Over the last months, they have lost 2,283 fighters. We have lost 648. So those are losses we wouldn't like to have, but they have lost more than double what we have lost. And we simply have better production than they do. So it's a good thing for us overall. All right, let's go and let the game continue to run. And I mean, this isn't good for their ships. So yeah, we've lost most of our fighter ones already. And these are continuing to repair, I think. Or they might be done repairing now. But we could always have them split off and repair. I think it might be time to go ahead and deploy this fleet. And do naval mining. Alright, let's go and get the improved large airframe. That'll help us to get the motherships, excuse me. Let's get some more subs out there, because the subs are actually proving to be very effective for drawing in enemy sort of air force and ships, and allow us to basically have targets to shoot at. So they lost a lot of destroyers, several submarines. We did lose a lot of planes here. That's probably where most of our losses have been, actually, now that I think about it. The anti-air on their ships, I would have to guess, is where most of those losses are coming from. So I just want to keep an eye here, because we're probably going to be engaging the enemy. But we do have naval supremacy here right now. And I'm comfortable fighting over this region. So I'm actually going to not contest this region, because, and it's not going to let me undo that, but I'd rather not fight here. I mean, we do have mines in that region, but we're also going to be laying them over here, so let's go and throw that guy in there. Let's get floating fortress or convoy interdiction. Let's get convoy interdiction. Just focus on those. That's going to help with our submarines. This is for our we're using this MIO specifically for our garrison tanks. So that should be fine. Let's go swap some of this out. I want to make sure that our cheap tanks aren't being used in our panzer divisions. I don't think they would be, but I'd kind of like to ensure that they aren't. Hold on, I just swapped something out that I shouldn't have. I think this was supposed to be our fighters. Yeah. Okay, well, we didn't lose that much efficiency, so it's okay, but gotta pay a little bit more attention when we're doing that. Alright, let's go and finish up this focus. Yeah, let's actually upgrade our infantry equipment as well. We do need more army XP, so we can go ahead and design the Tiger 2s. Okay, so we're getting XP again. Okay, so what just happened here? That was mostly planes. We lost some destroyers. They lost more destroyers than us, at least. Okay, so our fleet has gone back, which is probably the right thing. Let's go and bring it back. Let's also continue to build over here. Let's get some more dockyards going as well, wherever we can. And let's go and finish up the torpedo bomber. That's going to help with the air superiority in the region. Let's get the Panzer Troop School, and we'll continue on with that next episode, but that's going to be it for today. Just some corrections we had to make, some improvements with our production and things like that. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you're enjoying it. If there's anything you'd like to see, any recommendations, any suggestions for what we should do next as we look to likely invade the UK next episode as we get our marine tech and get those units built out. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.